I'm here. I'm here. Oh my goodness, look at that. The hat. That's the Fiji hat. Uh it's must got some green in it, eh? I'm right here, Paul. I'm right here. Where is my husband? Where is my husband? She says. Oh my goodness. Hey, there he is. He just got to get his stuff together. Yeah. Well, we were gonna. I was thinking of doing a live stream tomorrow, which I probably still will. We'll see. Um, but Paula said, "Why don't you go live today?" We have a little bit of time before dinner. We're gonna have a steak dinner. And so we haven't really covered anything with Fiji. I don't know what we're gonna talk about. Yeah, there's Fiji. So we at least covered a little bit of Fiji plus the hat. So we'll talk about whatever you guys want to today for a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if Kobe's here, but we're not staying till midnight. I'm gonna make Paula a nice little Valentine's Day dinner. So yeah, we'll see. I was running around real quick before, so I haven't really said a whole lot in chat. Let's say hellos real quick. Well, first and foremost, I know I already said hi to her in chat, but my wonderful exotic Canadian wife who went to Fiji with me, and we had an amazing time. Hi. Happy Valentine's Day. Uh, and I got to do this. This was one of my Valentine's Day presents because we're always joking about "I love you more, I love you more, I love you more, I love you the most, I love you the most, sister." And I'm the one that always makes up ridiculous words, and so she bought me a mug to just say, "Hey, look, I love you more." The end. I win. But now I own the mug. So does that mean I love her more? I'm kidding. Oh, I promised her I'd play nice with it though. Oh, okay. So we got Alan Schaefer in the house. How's it going, Alan? Good to see you here. Like I said, this is gonna be who knows what this is gonna be. These are the fun ones where it doesn't really matter. We don't have a planned schedule. I've got some Fiji videos I can pull up. Paula said I have permission to share the Valentine's Day video I made for her as her Valentine's Day gift. We could show you that if you guys want. We'll see. We'll see. You guys will determine what you guys want to see. If you guys want pictures from Fiji, if you want to see the Valentine's Day music video, if you want to see the dogs, doesn't matter. We've got no schedule here. George Ann Rose, how's it going? We are both very well. Although well, we both got sick on the trip, but we didn't let it stop us. Paula had one really rough day. I had a really rough 20 minutes. And Pippa's saying you're forgetting about me down here. Um, but I feel like I'm getting some crud again. And of course, I think my problem is when I get to somewhere, I want to go, go, go. Like especially with the ocean and the snorkeling. I don't want to sit inside. Once the sun is down and we don't have a TV, I'm like, I'm going to bed and then wake up before the sunrise and then get out and go, go, go. And I think every vacation we go on, I always get sick because I think I'm always like pushing myself to the limit. I don't want to sleep till there's nothing to do, and then I want to get up early when there's stuff to do. And then every vacation, well, every winter I get sick like 2 or 3 times, but every vacation it's almost guaranteed. But I think I'm getting a little bit of crud again. We'll see. Let's see here. We got Papa Smurf in the house saying, "Hey, Mike, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you too." We got Kyle in the house. How's it going out of Michigan? Hope you're doing well. We got people saying happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Love is in the air. It's a wonderful day. A little bit commercialized, but whatever. Uh, and of course, all the chocolates will go on sale tomorrow. So, Paula got a lot of chocolate, but it was because we get these milk chocolate bars at Walmart, and chocolate, you guys know the is it cacao or cocoa, whatever they make it with, that are only grown in the world in a couple of places. Really, um, they've had droughts and whatnot, and so the input prices have been high, and so chocolate's been really expensive. So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have kind of experienced that. Well, this week when I went to the store, some of these chocolate bars, even the cheaper ones, are like 250. And Paul likes her milk chocolate, and so I'll get her one of these milk chocolate bars right pretty regularly, I suppose. And anyways, they were $2 each. So normally they're at least 250, if not three sometimes lately. And so I saw them for $2 and I bought a bunch. And so we've got enough chocolate already, But then I'll probably pop into the store tomorrow and see what's on sale as well. Um, so who knows? Paula says, "Yeah, the mug backfired a little bit. I won't give her that hard of a time with it. It's more. I mean, we say it all and have a little fun with it, all in fun. We're not really competing for who loves each other more, but um, yeah, it's a cute mug, isn't it? Now, did you find this? I didn't ask her this actually. Did you find this like this, or was this custom made? These hearts look like, well, maybe they could have been an option, but it looks like maybe I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Let's see here. Oh, there's Kobe. How's it going? Hey, everyone. Going to try and listen. And while I edit, but not sure how well that will work, no worries. And of course, I think he's posted this out there. Kobe is working on trying to get his monetization is different tiered now. And so he's working on getting to the 4,000 hours so he can get advertising revenue and help pay for some of the bills out while you're a nomad. Every little bit helps. So if he's set up a playlist of his game nights where he plays games for a while, and it can add up hours quickly if you just run it overnight. I'm not very good at setting that stuff up at night anymore because we've kind of got our night routine, but I've kind of played it like before I go to the gym. I might play it a little bit, I hope, while I'm traveling next week. I go up to South Dakota this week basically to get my IT set up. So in the stuff that I do, you really need to have IT security, and somebody's got to kind of monitor and stuff for cyber threats and that type of thing. And so I'm going up and paying to get all that sorted out this week, which basically means the company is right on the verge of really trying to hopefully taking off. We'll see. But getting some of those last logistics, there's stuff I could be doing for clients. I'm working with some just to get the program set up, basically pro bono. Um, but yeah, getting the insurance and the IT are kind of the last things. I've got insurance applications out. I went to my old State Farm Insurance, is who I've always used in America for insurance, and I applied through them, and they say we don't offer insurance for consulting firms, and so I got rejected. Not because anything was wrong with the company, but because they don't offer. I guess it's more specialized insurance, and so I'm working through to get all of that too. But enough business talk for today. The main point is I'll be going um, to the Midwest and doing a little road trip and away for a few days. So yeah, scrolling. We got everybody talking and saying hello. Uh, yeah, Kobe says, "Thanks for the shout out, playing it. Every little bit helps." And yeah, I think he's got. I haven't looked in depth, but I think it's very nice. You go to his channel, look for the playlist, and he's got one where there's longer live streams, right? And some of them, quite frankly, I'll just be honest here, like he's playing a game or whatever, and I've watched some of them. Not something I'm going to watch 2.5 hours sitting here doing. But for this, absolutely, it's a long live stream I can run while I don't have to be at the computer, right? There's some interactions with whoever was in chat, but it's not quite as interactive as some of these. I think in what was the game called, Kobe? Something about life. It's a weird life or something. I was just running it for a little bit while I went to the gym today, which is why it's on top of mind. I'm trying to do it, but I haven't been the best at getting that running, especially at night. I'm just terrible at that because I'm not down in my office where all my stuff is, and I've only got the one computer these days. Where I used to have multiple computers where I could do a whole bunch of that stuff. Exactly the plan with that one. Life is Strange 2. Life is Strange is the game, and so yeah, he goes in. I was actually the one I was watching. I think it was the second episode. Basically, he's basically playing the game for a few hours. Anybody that's on can hang out with him while he plays the game at the time. Now, if you rerun these, obviously not. But it's like, yeah, Nate's going live in 3 hours, so he's gonna play his game, like, doing a whole episode. It was kind of funny. Because I think that was an 11-month-old one. I was probably going live a little bit more consistently. So, all right, guys. One more comment. I'm still in the work of redoing my entire homepage. Just racing the clock to get tonight's video premiere finished and uploaded. When is the video premiere? When is it planned? I thought I was trying to look real quick because I thought you and somebody else does. Jack sometimes does things on Saturdays. I don't worry too much about going over because I don't do these very often. I will typically stick to Sundays at I can't even remember the time. Is it 5 PM Central that I do my Sunday lives? I think I'll do one tomorrow unless I'm racing and I gotta get packed because I'll be leaving early Monday, or if the weather changes and I have to leave early for some reason, which I don't anticipate. Let's hope it doesn't happen. We'll go live tomorrow and show a little bit more and do a little bit more planning. I've got to figure out how it'd be nice. I think about when we came home and Paula's mom came and got us from the airport, and Paula's on cloud nine, and we're just sharing stories left and right. But we'd have to get a live stream together where we're both on and we're both in the mood to do it. That's probably the best way to do it and kind of rehash it. I don't know. Maybe she wants to do one this week while I'm on the road and we can just kind of talk and you guys can listen and be like, remember that time in Fiji 2 weeks ago? Type of thing. I don't know. We'll see. But Travel Around Susie going live at 8 Eastern today. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I knew there's some people that go. I'm always running around on Saturdays, especially in the fall. Paula had a lot of hers, so I don't spend a lot of time typically on Saturdays on YouTube. Um, and okay, here's Kobe's. Kobe's supposed to be 6 Central. I'm pushing it. Okay, so a couple of hours. In a couple of hours because I'm on Central, so 2 hours and 15 minutes if he gets it all uploaded. So I completely get if you have to ignore me for a little bit, completely get it. So with that, we've been away. Is there anything you guys want me to share? Because I don't know how long we're going to stay on, quite frankly. It might be for a little bit. It might be an hour. We'll see. Do you guys want to know stuff from Fiji? Do you want snorkeling stuff? Do you want some of the adventure stuff? Just stories? I don't know if I'm going to go into too much detail on all of that because it'd be kind of nice to do a live stream with Paula and be kind of getting her side of things too. So I don't know how many of the stories. There's some interesting ones. I always get myself into trouble. Uh I guess my grandma, bless her heart, because she says bless his heart. She Paula admitted like before I left. No, my grandma reached out to her. Now keep an eye on Nate because he's how did she put it? He's adventurous and willing to take risks. Bless his heart. And sure enough, yeah, well, you guys have seen uh Paula, where are you this week? He says, did you okay, so Paula says, what about the dogs? Paula got me this. Now I'm gonna admit, I know that dogs can't go on Amazon. But yes, I did get a Valentine's Day gift from the dogs as well, and I do have it right here. That was not planned, but I did bring it down just in case. Yes, I got the Samoyed. Look at this, the Samoyed coloring book here. 50, what's that say? 50 adorable designs. Let's just look at a couple. Let me find. I don't know. Samoyeds are hard to draw in much detail. So the interesting thing, if you look at the lines of this, and this is kind of how you would draw a Samoyed, right? Because how do you get the fluff? But the lines aren't set. Like if you look at the fur, so you can't really color within the lines because it's not like all closed off, right? So a coloring book without a Samoyed coloring book is interesting in that way because yeah, it's not you can't draw within the lines because a lot. Well, okay, here's one where you could. That's an example where that you can see how that closes off. That's one way to draw some wood for other than a little spot right there. But a lot of when you draw the furriness of a dog, I remember trying to make the logo. Here's one where it's a little bit you could draw it within those lines. But yeah, so I got my mug from Paula and then coloring book. I'm either gonna have to get colored pencils or crayons. I don't think I own any. Um, but yeah, kind of fun. Can do while watching TV and just relax. And I've got puzzles and stuff I do too. But yeah, uh, she says, yeah, I do realize that the dogs can't go on Amazon, so we know who's actually buying that, right? But it's cute that she got something from the dogs. So okay, until you guys get me something that you guys want to hear about. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should give you a high level of the Fiji trip. And oh my goodness, now that I'm trying to, like I said, I didn't really plan this live stream. I'm thinking back how many things almost went catastrophically wrong. Some things were pretty darn interesting, but but we did swim with sharks. So I think I've got a video. I've got all the videos on a drive. So I've got them if you guys want to see them, but they're not really organized yet. But Kobe's going to appreciate this because I think he was the one that was joking about it. Are you going to swim with sharks? Well, we did. We did. We swam with sharks. And notice how I say we did. I didn't think if I went and swam even with the reef sharks that Paula would. But she got out there and she did it. So that's pretty exciting. Let me share this is probably the best video I have where this shark this was actually back at Octopus, the resort we were at. So it wasn't actually this video is the one that I saw not on our shark adventure, if you will. But it was just hanging out with me a little bit, so I was able to get a little bit of a better video of it versus some of the others. It's very shaky and whatnot. You see quick flashes of them and whatnot. Um, but it's weird because when you're in the water, I have to see it first, and they dart in and out pretty quick. They're not looking to hang around, and and then I got to get the camera to try to get them, and it was a different camera. The GoPro completely crapped out on me right before the shark adventure. Luckily, Paula had a backup from before. It worked. It worked for a couple of days. It got us the footage we needed, and that's about it. And then it stopped working. But it worked for what we needed it. The GoPro went bad. I feel like I got something in my eye here. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. That just does not look right. Okay. Anyways, let's share this video. See what you guys think. Paula says I did it too. Okay, so now let's share screen. Da, da, da. Again, we'll do a little bit more organized live stream with some of this stuff, but let's share this entire screen here, share my audio as well. Okay, now this is not the GoPro, and so one thing when I went back and looked at the videos, I think the items tended to go towards the top of the screen. So at the very beginning, look towards the top. Oh, well, anyways, look at the top and you'll see the shark at first, and then I do get it more centered. So here we go. Right here. You see the back fin. I'm actually at this point trying to swim to catch up with it because it wasn't real close. And here we go. I get a little closer. And there's the reef shark. He's not too crazy about me kind of swimming after him, but got a little bit of a good shot, and then he kind of blends in there. So I'll scroll back here. Now, unfortunately, this reef here at what was called Octopus Resort was absolutely phenomenal. Unfortunately, well, it depends on where I'm at too in the reef. I don't know. Some of it was like there you can see some of the colors better real quick. You see the purples and the greens. So some of them are a little bit more muted in color, a little bit more vibrant. But compared to what I saw with my eyes and then watching some of the replays of the videos, the water and the camera just mutes some of the gorgeousness of it. There's no way to get what you experience on camera. There's no way to relay it. I just don't know. You just got to go out and do it yourself. But there's going to be some fun stuff with that. So that was what. Hi Dallas. She's like, why aren't I on camera? Why aren't I on camera? Here we go. You want to go on camera? Hi Auntie Cindy. There's Dallas. Say hi. Oh, you want a treat? All right, let's give you a treat. Let's get you guys going. Sit. Wait. Take. Ow. She bit my hand. So yeah, we and now okay, let me see Dallas get down. I will play one more of the Sharks. So since Auntie Cindy's here, I'm gonna let me go find one more where Paula was out there swimming with these sharks. I want to show her aunt here. Um I just gotta find it. I've got a couple of these labeled a little bit of which ones actually caught sharks on camera and then which ones didn't. No sharks, quick shark, sharks. Okay. And we might have to play around in here a little bit. So you can see There's some flippers. So there was Paula and myself and two other. Oh, there was a shark. You see that? I didn't expect it to happen so quick. There was. Oh, I'm gonna try to stop it where you can see it. Oh, right there. You see it right there. So that was a shark. And but this is when we were all out there, and there were more of them, but they're very much in and out. Like if I got to see it, I was lucky. If I had enough time to actually get the camera on it, was a completely different story. So I'm gonna rewind it. This is how most of the camera shots when we were all out there are gonna be. Very, very quick. There you go. And I'm trying to look around and see everything myself as well as get them on camera. So I'm gonna just see if I think there's a couple more in this. Up right here might be another one. Okay, so I'll just play this and shut up. You guys can kind of see. I think there's two that you'll see briefly if you catch them, and then one swims more towards me and on camera, but then still gone pretty quick. So here we go. There, there's two, and then one towards, and then it will kind of go away a little bit. So yeah, that one swam right at Paula, I think, because you can see them all up there ahead. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so that was it was actually a really cool experience. It wasn't necessarily on my bucket list, although I Paula showed me some videos with like the bull sharks out there, which are big and dangerous. But they've got like these walls and whole systems set up that now I'm kind of like that would be kind of cool. And Paula, Auntie Cindy would like to know this. Paula says, she ain't doing it. I'm allowed to if I really want. She's like, I'm not doing it. But you have to scuba. That's one thing you don't have to actually be certified scuba for. I think for my comfort, you're already dealing with scuba, which is high stress, and sharks, which is high stress, especially ones that can be dangerous. So that's when I would want to be certified before and kind of be comfortable in that. But that's all. That's okay, Papa. Uh, we are having a wonderful Valentine's Day. She's saying, "Sharks, I'm glad I can't swim. How's it going, Marianne? Out in Iowa, and we got Floss coming in as well. We're just hanging out for a little bit. Paula threw out the idea. We weren't doing anything right at this time in the day before our dinner, so she's like, "Hey, you could go live real quick." So, we, she did say you can. I for Valentine's Day, I made her a music video, and DJ almost ruined it before we went to Fiji. He came on, and Paula sent me a text with like AI generated music, right? Well, I already had plans to make a video for Paula because I have an AI license. And so if you had noticed on that live stream, I kind of tried to not go down that rabbit hole because I didn't want somebody to be like, oh, that'd be a great gift or something. Oh man, I already was doing that. So yeah, let's pull that up real quick. And then I'll shut up for a little bit, and then if there's other things you guys want to talk about, the snake, the poisonous snake I almost stepped on, getting stuck snorkeling, when the tropical depression came through, I may have had Paula in tears by the time I got back safely to land. On that, we had some other road trip adventures that went a little bit interesting. When you're out there in the heat and humidity, your window, like how in cold weather your window can fog up basically and you gotta have the heat on it. Well, out there at night, it gets really interesting. We actually had to pull over and just get a different resort hotel for the night because it got too dangerous. I was literally driving with my head out the window so I could see because I could not see through the windshield. So if there's any of that stuff that you guys want to talk about today, we'll cover it some other day as well. Or whatever you guys want to talk about. So let me find where did I have this hidden? But this drive that I'm looking at has all our wedding videos and a lot of um, backups. I'm gonna just go somewhere else here real quick where I know this video is. So we probably won't share this again. I really wasn't gonna put it on YouTube because it's for Paula, but she said, if you want to share it, go ahead, share it. So we'll share it real quick and then yeah, we won't be posting this or anything, or at least I won't. Paula can do whatever she wants with it, but and this is a customized video for Paula about our history and our videos and our pictures and whatnot. But it's kind of nice with AI because I am not a musician or a singer. You can actually make a song. You used to make mixtapes and all that stuff back in the day. You can actually make your own personalized song without being a musician or an artist. You can kind of use AI to give you kind of an outline and then insert your story and your words and where you want. And then they'll add music to it, and then you kind of tweak it a little bit. It took a tweaks here and there and working with it a little bit to come up with this song. Um, but yes, I do admit AI did the music for sure. All right, so I'm gonna shut up here. Actually, I might even take myself off stage. Real quick, before I play it, I think I have the sound where you guys will hear it. If not, just put in chat real quick, no sound, and I'll have to reload it. But I think it should.
We were pixels on a late night screen, two restless hearts chasing different dreams. You held the mic, I held my breath, never knew the moment would change what's next. A simple call, a question or two, but something in the way you looked right through the lens and into the deepest part of me, like you already knew who we could be. From live stream chats to a desert sky, Faye was laughing while we wondered why. Oh, from a screen to the sand, from strangers to the promised land. Under desert stars we found each other, your blue eyes shining like the open sky. Heart of gold, you're my reason why. Through every road and border crossed, every mile, no matter the cost, I choose you in every life I see. From that first hello to the Mexican Sea. We met where the nomads roamed, dust and firelight felt like home. Schoolie Palooza, sparks in the air, one look at you and I was there. Southwest highways, painted skies, sunset truth in your blue eyes. Every canyon, every line, led your hand straight into mine. With every mile the feeling grew. The more I saw, the more I knew. Oh, from a screen to the sand, from strangers to the promised land. Under desert stars we found each other, your blue eyes shining like the open sky. Heart of gold, you're my reason why. Through every road and border crossed, every mile, no matter the cost, I choose you in every life I see. From that first hello to the Mexican Sea, I crossed to the true north. From there we went forth, traded deserts for a different view, but every road still led to you. Barefoot vows where the ocean bends, on a beach where our forever begins. Waves were dancing at our feet, two wandering souls now complete. Down the Gulf where the warm tides roll, out to Fiji where the blue runs bold. Hand in hand along the waves, braver hearts than we ever gave. Snow goes on and the sunlight breaks, silver shadows and ocean wakes. Sharks below in the deep blue sway, but I won't ever let harm come your way. Through every current wild and free, you can always take your lead from me. No matter how restless the waters behave, I'll be your calm, I'll be your brave. Wherever we wander, wherever we roam, my arms are your harbor, shelter and home. From a screen to the sand, our husband and wife, you're my true one and only in life. Your loyalty, steady as the tide, my safest place is by your side. If the world calls us back to Rome, every horizon will feel like home. 'Cause home's not a place on any map I see. It's wherever you are with me. With me.
Whew. I think I'm back. So there you go. Yeah, a lot of it, especially early, talks about meeting, and I think AI named it when it did the formal song and everything, but I think they called it "Sand to Sea" because part of the prompt that I put in, write a song about the story about meeting in the desert. So it's the desert sand to the Mexican Sea, and our wedding and our future from there. There was some stuff from Fiji built in there. If you guys saw, there was a couple where Paula got her hair beaded and whatnot and did her vacation mode. I think the beads lasted what 3 or 4 days, and then they started one come out. So yeah, that was fun to do, and yeah, it's always nice to reflect on that stuff, and I don't know. Of course, I think Paul and I both. I think most people love their love story, but we really like our love story. I I was meeting with somebody this week for work, and I could I always have to go down that rabbit hole, right? Like, oh yeah, they want to talk about they wanted YouTube advice and stuff such because had mentioned that I had a YouTube channel that had 5,000, and I was like, yeah, and the greatest thing that I got from doing YouTube was my wife, and I had to share some of that story. So, but yeah, that was the music video. It's kind of fun to do. Oh, thank you, Floss. Thank you for hitting thumbs up, guys. As we just kind of hang out today. So, with that, so as I was watching that, one thing that I don't know if we'll hit on later, but we went when we were in Fiji. We had well, it takes like a day and a half to get out there to begin with, and so our first night, we just booked somewhere that was cheap in town, and we always said Nadi, but everybody there said Nandi. So I'm gonna say Nandi from now on, but I mean the same thing of Nadi, which is not the capital, which is Suja, but it's where the international airport is. So most of the people that go there from overseas know Nandi more than anything else, and that's where a lot of the boats go out and everything. So we kind of got in and got somewhere cheap the first night, which I don't know if we hadn't done it the first night, we might have been like, "Ooh, this place." But we were in paradise. We were perfectly happy. Other than Paula having being tormented by her husband, not only having to pet every stray dog on the beach, but also we were having our dinner the first night by the pool. And I said we talked about this like it's not their busy season, it's hot season, and it was hot. It was hot and humid, and some days, especially early on, 15 or 20 minutes out there, and you're like, I got to go in the AC or in the water, one or the other. But yeah, so we're at this couple's table right next to the pool, like it's a honeymoon table kind of. We're sitting there like this is unreal, but it's they're not real busy and it's not a real fancy. It's kind of squeezed between two fancy resorts, and it's just a kind of a local place, and so we kind of had the honeymoon table or whatever. Anyways, and Paula goes, she's trying and Paula, remind me of the word. It's kind of like ceviche, but it's Fijian and it's got coconut milk and coconut flavor in it. But she was trying that for her first time. I think she tried it 3 times. And she goes, "What's that moving over there?" And I say, "Oh, I'll be a good husband. Let me go find out." So I go find out and eventually catch it. And I come running up to the dinner table. It's a frog. Get that away from me, right? A Kokoda. That was the meal, not the frog. Um, so she's like, I don't want to see the frog. I just want to know what it was. And so Paul, this is where Paula should probably be up here on another live stream. Not tonight, I don't think, but where she'll talk about how these frogs. Now that frog was not very big, but after that first night, then we went to a place called La Curry. Now this I would call more of a cultural resort where you get the cultural experience. It's a little bit cheaper. It's not high-end resort. We did have they had built, I think, 10 burrs with AC, and that was one of our requirements. We needed AC. And I'm glad we did there because those were the hottest days. But anyways, that resort with the frogs or the curry, they had some giant frogs, and you go walking back at night, and they'd be all over the path. I was just like, they're supposed to get out of my way, but they're not even scared of me. Like they were, some of them were pretty giant. There was even a, you think a hermit crabs, like little tiny ones, and they had little tiny ones. But there was one also that we found that was a giant, well, maybe not as big as my head, but like slightly smaller than my head, that apparently was living under the the bunkhouse or whatever you call it next to us, and we caught it out one night. But these things are huge. And so that was kind of funny. Um, I wanted to pick them all up, but I was told quit picking up the quit playing with things. I'm not here to monitor you. I I told her, I was like, well, you've had frog legs before. Don't you think those would be some good frog legs? Because they're big, right? You got to have a big enough one. We got, let's say hi to Daniel Brown. Hi, how are you today? Good morning. New Zealand welcomes. Yes, to my good friend. So here's another thing. Hi, by the way. We are up in Canada in the cold. Um, but one unique thing about, instead of going to Mexico and the Dominican Republic and all those kind of Gulf of Mexico type vacations that a lot of Cubans, Canadians go on. I'm thinking Cuba because of all the things going on there. Fiji, you get a completely different vibe. So you get all the Australians and New Zealanders over there. So I'm hearing accents all over the place, and they're probably like, "Well, that's a unique accent. Where are you from?" Right? And so, yeah, Daniel's from New Zealand, but when we were in Fiji, there was all sorts of New Zealanders, Australians. That was probably the majority of people that you ran across, with some Americans, fewer Canadians. We met well, he was an American that grew up in Egypt, and Austrians, and a couple of Europeans from different places, Czech, or no, not Czech, Czech Republic. Was it Czech Republic or Slovakia? I think it was Czech Republic, actually. So, no, New Zealand's going to have to be on our list now. Actually, New Zealand, Australia, Philippines, Vietnam, all those places out there, especially as far as winter getaways. But it's also hard not to go back to Fiji, especially now that we kind of got our feet under us. We're used to it. I drove all over the place on the wrong side of the road. We just don't want to do it at night because we're not very good at that. as, as we'll share that story at some point. Um, let's. I have released. Let's do this video. I'll pull the one up of the snake. So you guys may have seen the short already, and if not, when we went, we knew that there's poisonous snakes out there, which kind of freaked Paul out a little bit, not as much as you would have thought. Uh, we were watching Survivor this year, and one of the contestants got bit by a poisonous snake. Now it was a dry bite, so it didn't inject the venom. But these black and white water/land snakes are extremely poisonous, but they're not aggressive. So typically they're going to leave you alone. We're like, oh, okay, great. But there's other poisonous snakes that aren't as poisonous but are more aggressive, which I don't know. When we talk to the people at LaCurry, which is, I'm not going to, I shouldn't say where this happened, but it was LaCurry. We won't repeat that regularly. I was off towards one end of the island that most people don't go. I woke up early. I wanted to snorkel. It was high tide. I just wanted to see what I could do, because the couple times we've been out there, the one day it was very murky in the water. The second day was better. Paula didn't go that day. That's the day she did her spa day. She got her massage and her hair beaded and all of that. I'm going to take this off for a second. And so, anyways, the next morning I was like, I'm going to wake up early, go out at high tide. I'm going to go to the far end of the island. It's not a huge island. And I'm just going to go out and see what I can see, because you can see where the surf breaks and where the real reefs are. And I now that we've done the whole trip, I probably could have just swam out there. But at the time, I wasn't real confident in it, and I got a lot more confident as I went. So anyways, coming back in, I did not go so far that I could not stand that morning because I didn't have anybody with me. But coming back in, I realized a couple of things. One, high tide had come. I thought when I woke up it's high tide, so I wasn't really paying attention. I set my stuff, like my shoes and my little bag on the sand. I went out. I saw a log in the water that was sitting there. I put the GoPro on it. That it was still working at the time, and I shot it in the distance I was going to go. I didn't bring the GoPro in the water with me. I just was like, whatever, it'll catch what it catches. Well, when I'm coming back in, all of a sudden I'm like, I feel like I knew what trees I was supposed to go towards, but the log with the GoPro was not where the trees were. And then I realized, oh shoot, the shore is gone too. So like where my shoes and everything, water had gone all the way up above all of the sand, and high tide, well, had come in. And so luckily I didn't lose anything. I was able to catch up to the log that was floating with the GoPro. And then I thought I had lost my water shoes and my bag. I don't know if anything was in the bag at that point, but I was able to find it in some murky stuff. But anyways, as I was getting out, I noticed some splashing around, and there was kind of like this bay area where a little deeper stuff came in, and as high tide came up, those two waters kind of mixed, and so there's a little bit of churning and whatnot, and it must have attracted a lot of small fish, which attracted some small sharks. Now I was walking in at this point. This wasn't we weren't snorkeling with sharks at this point, and they had to have been baby reef sharks. And then, lo and behold, as you'll see, let me shut up and just find this video here for you guys. But as you'll see, yeah, there was a snake that we believe was poisonous. We're not completely sure which type it was, though. So let me find. Start Fiji to the snake. I used it as a point out or a point for organizing my videos here. Shark and snake. I'm going to pull this up and then I'm going to share. Here we go. Enjoy. Look, guys. Reef shark. Did we get it on camera? That was a small reef shark, guys. You'll see other ones. That one did not catch the camera because of the glare.
But I might be down water shoes and my... Oh, there was another one. There's reef sharks.
Right here, it's going to come out. Somewhere. Nope, not yet.
Oh, and there's a snake.
Right there, you can see it.
You guys see that? There's a snake right there and a shark right there.
Right there.
I gotta be careful getting
It's coming over here, and you'll see it right here. There's the baby reef shark. And back to the snake.
Look at the
right
snake.
There. So here's the thing. Let's pull this down for a second, if I can find where I'm at on my screen. So we know black and white are poisonous. I didn't think it was black and white. In real time, I thought it was black and like a dark orange, reddish tone. But of course, now on the video, when I look at the video, I look and I go, no, I think that was black and white. So I don't know. Either way, black and white, we know poisonous, but not super aggressive as long as you don't mess with it. So I go through all of this. I don't tell Paula right away because I was going to wait till we're almost off this island going to somewhere. The Yasawa Islands don't have the snakes. And so anyways, I end up telling her later that day. It was our last night. And then we're talking to somebody on the staff, like, yeah, I saw a snake in the water. It was kind of interesting, and I wanted to get the hell out of there, as I will say in the video here in a second. And I tell them, I was like, I don't think it was black and white like the ones that are poisonous, though. So it probably wasn't poisonous. It was like black and like a dark orange. And the guy's eyes kind of looked at me, oh, what does that mean? He's like, well, those are poisonous too, but those are aggressive. So I don't know. I didn't get bit. It was in the water. The funny thing is, so this was right before breakfast. I'm like, okay, let me get all my stuff, get the heck out of here, go back, find Paula. We have breakfast, and she wants to go on a hike. We'll go through the island, and she actually posted a video where I hadn't told her about the snake yet, and we circled around the island, and we're back at the same point. And I went in the water before she did. And I start kicking around. I'm kind of checking it out, make sure, okay, I don't see anything. And she gets in the water. I didn't think she was getting in the water. She gets in the water and starts kind of going around. And so we're kind of going back around the island like that. And she's making her video and talking about, and I'm telling her, make sure you shuffle your feet, because I hadn't told her about the snake yet, but I didn't want her to get bit, obviously. And so I'm telling, shuffle your feet, shuffle your feet. And she's been recording like, oh yeah, and remember there's snakes in here, so you gotta, or dangerous predators. I don't know how she said it. But make sure you shuffle your feet. Well, at that time, she didn't actually know that we were walking near where there actually had been a snake in the water. So as as my grandma told Paula before the trip, keep an eye on him. He's adventurous. He likes to take risks. Bless his heart. So we kind of joke now. Yeah, bless his heart. He's out on his own. Paula knew the general direction. I told her I'm going to go to the end of the island, but she was getting up, and actually I woke up before she was. And so she knew where I was, but no, there wasn't anybody over there if something had happened. Um, I guess buddy system is the best thing always to do, but anyways, I guess, yeah, I take chances. Let's just finish this for a little bit here. Let's okay, so there's this snake and I'll have to edit it towards the other way unless I already released the short, but see, I think there's a couple more sharks maybe swimming through here.
Oh boy, let's get the hell out of here, huh?
Let's get the hell out of here after I stood next to it for a little bit, right? There's the log. That was what started floating away with the GoPro. And right in here, you can see where there's the shallow water meeting the deeper water.
These reef sharks.
And that was attracting the sharks.
Look at this.
I think you can see a couple more here. I think, is it coming? Oh, there's one. Right here. Oh. Yeah, I don't catch it underwater. I don't know what I'm trying to do there. But yeah, there was a couple of small ones in there, so that was fun. But yeah, going back to Licourie and the whole take out a kneecap. Oh yeah, too many chances. So let's share some of the fun stuff. I know we'll have to repeat these because there's not a whole lot of people here. So the snake was okay the first time where, oh boy, to be married to Nate, going off on these adventures and the stories I come back with. And I don't know if people would believe me if I didn't have it on video. People would be like, yeah, Nate, you ran into a poisonous snake. Sure. Like, I'd actually turned the camera on trying to catch the sharks before I even realized that there was a snake there. So yeah, there you go. So then we're at and I showed you guys the actual snorkeling with the reef sharks in deeper water and showed you some of that just not too long ago as we started this live out. Well, I'm trying to think where I was going with this. I'm trying to talk and find the videos for you as well. So Licourie was very nice. That was the resort. It didn't have the best snorkeling. Actually, let me show you a video of kind of what the snorkeling was kind of like. Now, the one day that Paula went out with me, it was very murky. I could see colors in the water, but you can actually really see the fish. And then the second day she chose, because she was having issues with her snorkeling stuff, she chose to stay back in on land. And I went out with the excursion or whatever. They got a boat that goes out about once a day. Let's just play one real quick, just to give you an idea. It's not pristine snorkeling, right? So you see some bluefish in there, some tiny ones. Oh my goodness, don't get dizzy. Maybe that was a bad video to share. Let's try a different video. That wasn't a good video to share. Before I make you dizzy, I'll double check this real quick. Oh, okay. So yeah, you can see. So you can see in there. Oh, lay down, Dallas. You can see some fish right in here. Some of the smaller fish. So that just give you an idea that you could actually see the second day. You can see the water is still kind of hazy, but you can tell that there's not fish and coral everywhere, right? So yeah, I mean, there was some other stuff in there too. I'm not going to show a whole lot of it. But Licourie, not the best for snorkeling. Very affordable. I can't believe how hard of the work, how hard they worked. They did not have a big staff. They worked 6 days on, 1 day off, and kind of in a barracks or dorms type thing. And they worked all day. And they were out in the heat, and oh my goodness. And the first night we get there, they was our one chance. They do it 3 times a week. Well, a cultural experience, if you will. Let me see what I might have on that. I don't think I got most of it on the GoPro, so I'll have to switch over to another folder here. But they show you the traditional oven, how they do it in the ground, and they cook your dinner in the ground oven, and then they show you some cultural dances, some music. One of the pictures in the music video that I made for Paula for Valentine's Day actually showed a picture of a bonfire behind us, and we were taking it in front. Well, one of the things that I thought was the coolest was when we went out snorkeling that first day, when Paula was with us, we were talking to a guy on the boat ride back. Wasn't terribly long. He was with the British Royal Air Force, I think it was. And so my dad had worked during some of the Iraqi wars. He was over in England, and he had been a Marine. He was with Lockheed. He did, I don't know exactly what he did. But I was like, yeah, I've been over to Britain for 3 years, and we kind of was on an Air Force base. We didn't live on the Air Force base, but we were on it regularly. And so we kind of connected over that. We were just chatting on the way back. He'd been to Canada, and he'd been kind of all over the place. But he grew up in Fiji, right? So he knew the culture, he knew it, and he was just back visiting. So I don't know why he chose Liquori as where he went. But anyways, so then they did the cultural experience at night, and they do the oven cooking, they do fire walking, they do fire dancing, which I know we have some video of that. But then they have a bonfire, and while they're finishing the meal prep, they have a few people out there, I think 3 or 4 people playing guitar and playing some traditional songs. Well, this guy that we had met out on that boat snorkeling, he was like, so the people at the resort grabbed a couple of the day trippers who had a little bit too much to drink, and they're like, okay, we're gonna do a traditional Fijian dance, and basically it's a line of 3 people. You kind of wrap your arms around each other, and you just kind of move forward and back, kind of thing. And so this guy that we had met, he's like, yeah, I recognize these songs. Here, let's do it. I'll show you guys how to do this. So they had the other line that was going, and then Paula, me, and this guy were going back and forth and kind of in front of this bonfire doing the traditional Fijian dance, because we had met this guy and talked to him earlier. And so that was really cool, right? We had a chance later at another resort where Paula took part in a traditional dance as well. I had left because I was overheating. But for me, that was enough for me. Like, we kind of did it. They were playing the traditional songs. There was a bonfire. There wasn't everybody dancing because most people were tourists. But it was kind of fun. Paul was like, it was fun. But no video of that other than, that was just the bonfire that you saw in that one picture on the video. But we were dancing. We didn't we didn't have time to actually catch it. But let's see what else we have here to show you kind of a video. Oh, let's see here. I'm just going to pull them up before I share with you guys. I'm just going to pull it up to try to remember. Okay, so one thing that they do is kava. Kava is kind of, it's out of a root, but it's a drink, but it's not like drinking beer or liquor. To me, it would be more like taking marijuana, because the way they describe it is if you take too much of it, you're just numb and you don't move. You're just like, okay, I'm happy, I'm staying put. And a lot of the people there, especially when you talk to older people, they'll talk about how, people take kava and then we don't have the conflicts that we do if we don't, because everybody's very mellow, right? And so here, I'll share this. This is just at the Liquori Island. They're doing a traditional kava ceremony with some people. We did our own kind of one the next day that we got to try it as well a little bit more. But so they've got the chief and the bodyguard. The bodyguard kind of runs the whole show. And then there's clapping and different things you're supposed to do when you finish it. And I think this is the second person is taking it for his first time. And so that's your traditional Fijian kava ceremony. Now they can take kava at night, just kind of like somebody might have a beer after work before dinner or something like that. Or there's other things that would, celebrations and such, that they would have a more formal ceremony as well. Let's see here. Let's pull up. I don't think this is. This is just some dancing. I don't know about that. So I didn't actually stop it. So you have they've got guys and girls that dance. We'll do one with the women on it real quick, just to be fair and equal, I guess. So you got to experience their dancing, their celebrations, their culture, which was pretty cool. So they did that, and then let me see if I can do one real quick. Why was I thinking it was with a C? I think you're right now that you say that. But yes, I've never heard of it before till we were going to Fiji, and Paula was doing all the research of the culture and what to expect and whatnot. And you start looking at resorts, and most resorts will have some chance to do a kava ceremony, right? So at another resort, we went to visit the village, and they would do a kava ceremony that you could partake in there. Here they did it right at the resort. Actually, the other resort, once we did it, we were kind of like, okay, we've done that. But yeah, the other resort actually had it where you could go to a kava ceremony before dinner, but nobody ever really went, I don't think. We always just saw them sitting there, and I don't even think that they mixed it because they didn't want to waste it, right? Okay, one more real quick. Why not? Let's add this to the stages, just some fire dancing. Again, I'm just pulling up clips, so I don't know if it's the best ones or not. Oops. Here we go. They did have, I mean, they got some they had some people that were still learning and would drop. But they also had guys that would like stack on top of each other and have one guy holding two other guys while they're doing it. Unfortunately, let's see, I'm going to pull one later in the night because they got more complicated as they went. But they don't film really well because of all the light. You're in the dark, and then you got so many lights going on, and then I was using my iPhone at the time. It picks up a glare, so it's like almost seeing two for each fire you saw. The video picks up two, so I don't know. But it gives you guys an idea. So let's play one more with more people going here. So you can see they're starting to stack, and now while they're stacked, there's all three of them are doing the fire dancing and whatnot. So yeah, that was the first resort that we went to, but it was more of a cultural experience, right? Let's see what you guys are talking about in chat real quick. Oh, I'd say bye, but she's probably already gone because that was 10 minutes ago. I think I saw an ancient coin laying on the bottom. Actually, I've seen what do you call them? Not silver dollars. Is it silver dollars? Sand dollars. When we've gone to I've seen them lots in life, but I've always seen them when they're washed up on shore. The last place we went, as I was snorkeling around, I could actually dive down and look at both live starfish and sand dollars, which was kind of cool, right? So you can go find some of that stuff, even though that last place wasn't as great of a snorkeling experience as the Octopus Resort, which I'll show you here in a second. But it still had different things. Like I saw a lionfish, if you know what a lionfish is, right? I don't have that one on video. I went out the first day. We got there just in time for high tide, and I just went. But anyways, I had to figure out where the stuff was because you had to swim out pretty far to get to anything interesting. But as I was getting out there, I saw one. The coral isn't continuous at that one. They're more big pieces of coral, and then you swim in the next one type stuff. So the one I saw this a couple fish, and then this line. You know how lionfish kind of have all these. They kind of flare out almost. But it was kind of shy too. So it stayed there. I got to watch it for a little bit, and then it kind of ducked back in. But yeah, that last place when we did snorkeling, you could see actually pick up some of the stuff because it wasn't as deep. And they had fishermen out there. That I wish they were a little bit more careful with that reef. But fire dancers, we got Kava, Papa Smurf. I think that he's saying that's cool to the fire dancing. Yeah, it was fun. And back to the music video that I made for Paula, the fire dancing there was at Schoolie Palooza. So when Paula and I were just having that initial spark, Steve was there. You were at Box Fandies. We were getting along, meeting each other there. But when then we went to Schoolie Palooza and we had the spark and the interest in each other a little bit more, you would say. Anyways, the one clip that I could actually pull up from Schoolie Palooza was them fire dancing because it kind of had like the lights in the background and stuff. So it kind of reminds me of that part of our relationship when we were just before we were in love, but when we were just, that excited feeling in your stomach to go spend time with somebody and get to know them. Um, that's what the fire dancing reminds me of with that. We'll pull this one up real quick too. This is just a picture. And Paula might have to remind me. Um, this was like an instructional kind of excursion where they made this doughy stuff, but it's got coconut milk in it. And so they teach you how to make it. Um, they open up the coconut, and then the coconut here was just to hold it. Lolo bun. Yes, a Lolo bun. And so they show you, and then I jumped in the water for 20 minutes while they're cooking it, and then you come out and you get to taste it. And I'm not a big bready person, and if it didn't have the coconut sauce that they drizzle on it, it'd probably be so. But the coconut and the Lolo bun really makes it like a sweet flavor, and I gobbled that whole thing up. So that again, like I said, that resort very much kind of gives you that traditional cultural experience, which I liked. Um, oh, let's cheer this just for fun. There's one of the giant frogs. Even if you shine the flashlight and got real close, that frog didn't care. It's like I'm sitting here. This is my spot. And let's see. And again, I'm just pulling these up. There was the giant hermit crab. Obviously, you can't really tell how big it is just from that. But that one's a giant. That's the biggest crab I've ever. Actually, there was a crab that I didn't get on camera that wasn't a hermit crab, but like a real crab that I was coming back that one day. Actually, I think it was after the snake, and I cut through the or the little jungle area. Um, and I'm going down this path because I was like, oh, I think this just cuts through. I think it's a path. I hadn't been on it yet. But you know me, I'm gonna whatever. If it doesn't lead me where I want to go, I'll just turn around and go back. But yeah, there was a giant crab that scurried across the path really quick, and then I had something in my hand, a stick or something, so I was able to pull this stuff back, and it was giant. I didn't have my phone with me at the time though, because I was out in the water. Um, but what else do we got here? I also have to be careful. Oh, just a bunch of dogs. Let's do a little bit here. Paul says it was huge. Let me see if I can get some decent snorkeling stuff from Octopus Resort. Now, Octopus Resort, again, you've got kind of the main I forget the name of the main island, but the main island where the capital is, it's the biggest one. There's a couple bigger ones also, but kind of to the northwest of it, there's the Yasawa Islands, and then to the southwest, there's the Mamanucas, which is where they filmed Survivor. Well, we went to the Yasawas. They're quite frankly known to be the better, more tropical, better reefs and type of things. They're far enough away. Mamanucas still are known to have some of those snakes, like the Survivor. That's where they were at when the one guy got bit by the snake. It was the Mamanucas. But the Yasawas, from everything we were told, they don't actually have the snakes. They're far enough away the snakes can't swim that far, right? But they have absolutely beautiful reefs. Sea snake. Yes. Hey, we got Brandon in the house. How's it going, Brandon? So let's see here. Oh, I'm still on my phone. I got to get to the different file real quick. Bear with me to give you some good actual. I'm just going to go to the very end. So I don't think I've told the story yet about getting out in the water when the storm hit. So we didn't experience any cyclones, but we added one day to our octopus resort because we loved it so much. We wanted to add two, but there was a storm coming in. It never got categorized as a cyclone. It was technically a tropical depression. They technically have not had a cyclone since I think 2016. But a big storm was coming in. It was affecting some of the boat transfers and whatnot. And it was our last day, and I wanted to get out one more time. We'd already done the shark snorkeling and all of that. And I wanted to get out one last time because I didn't figure the rest of the snorkeling would be as good. Well, the storm hit a few hours earlier than it was supposed to. And so when I got in, the wind was starting to pick up. It was starting to rain, but I was like, I don't think the storm's supposed to hit for a few more hours. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get out there. Paula knew I was going. She was out at the pool. I had talked to the dive shop. They said, well, right now, this was like an hour before I actually jumped in. They said right now it's still pretty safe just because we've got the storms coming, but the way the wind's coming, it's protected by the island. So as of right now, it seems pretty safe. And so, but things changed. And I got out there. I was out there for maybe 15 minutes, and I got out to my favorites. We'd been there. This was our fourth day. I kind of got the lay of the land, where the coral was, where the good fish were, what was where. By the time the storm, I was stuck in the storm. And so I get out. It's about 15-minute swim, casual swim out to kind of where, if you go beyond that, the coral's not as good. The fish aren't as good, at least for a while. And so I kind of went out to this one point where there's this like light blue spiky type coral that I knew that was typically where I would hang out and then eventually turn around. So I got out there. By the end of this, I was learning to dive down rather than just swim on top. I said screw it with the life vest. It was keeping me up. Even the GoPro and the cameras made it hard to swim under, so I was just putting it in my shorts. And let's see. I know Paula did take one video where I was diving down, even though I wasn't doing it that great at this point. Well, let's see if I find that video real quick, just to kind of show you what I was doing at this point. Maybe. There we go. So this is just to describe. So at this point, I've got my yellow, bright yellow, where you should be able to see me, right? That Paula bought me. And this is just an example of me trying to learn to start diving down. Again, I got a lot better than this video will show, because I think this was actually the day before the storm. Paula was, well, obviously Paula's the one filming this for me. So there I go. I dived down. I didn't stay that long, but I can get closer, right? I can get closer. I can get to the fish, and a lot of the really cool coral at Octopus had these they were like fans, right? And a lot of the big, really cool fish like to stay under those fans. So if you stay on top of the water, you don't get to see it all. So if you learn to dive down, and so I was teaching myself to dive down. So the day the storm came in, I'm out there 15 minutes out, casual swim 15 minutes. And I'm doing some last dives because I'm trying to get the best video I can, because I thought it was my last chance because the storm's coming in before our boat. And all of a sudden I feel, my head's in the water. I don't really know what's going on. I poke my head up, my eyes up every once in a while, make sure no boats are coming, but I'm right along the reef. So I'm pretty safe as far as boats going there, because they're not going to beach themselves on the reef. And I do a few dives trying to get videos, and I come up and I feel just like pelting on my back, and I pick my head out of the water, and I don't take any of my equipment off because I didn't want to mess with it. but I could not see the land anymore. Like it wasn't that far away. Like I was more along the shore, like 15 minutes of casual swimming out and then kind of along the reef. So it's not like 15 minutes out in the ocean, right? And I put my head up, and because of the I still had my goggles on, but I could not see. It was raining so hard, I could not see where the shore was anymore. I was like, "Oh," and I had about 10 to 15 seconds of this isn't very good. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't even see where I'm going right now. And then I said, "Well, put your head down and start swimming because I don't know what's going on or if it's going to get worse or what." And then when I put my head back in the water, I realized, oh, I feel the rain on my back, but once my head's in the water, yes, the waves a little bit, but I can still swim. I'm not being taken out anywhere. And so within 15 seconds, I was calm again and just following the coral. Like I knew where the coral was, and I'd been swimming it for 3 days. So I just followed the coral that I knew back in. And so, unfortunately, I was calm for 15 or I was only nervous for 10 to 15 seconds where I was kind of, "Oh, crap." But I did have my wife on shore who, even though I was wearing bright yellow, could not see where I was. And, so she had a little bit of a, 10 minutes or so of panic. I do have now I had the camera on the whole time, but mind you, it was in my swim trunks. So it was as I swam, unless I was diving down, I didn't take it out. So it stayed in my swim trunks. It ran the whole time where I was coming back. I can actually go back in the video and I can see where I can tell where my head came up because I was doing some dives and I start kind of kicking around and kind of panicking for a minute. Again, I didn't have a life vest on. My grandma's gonna kill me for that. Um, and then you just see the camera ran the whole time, but you just see more bubbles and stuff as I was swimming, no longer casually. I was getting the heck out of there. So it was interesting, Steve. It was interesting, but once I started swimming and I could tell that I was making good progress, I was not doing a casual swim. I was getting myself in. It took me about 8 minutes of aggressively swimming back to get back on. Um, and you won't be able to hear, but here, well, here I'll play. This is like the last bit here of me again. You're seeing the view from my swim trunk, so it's not a perfect view here. The audio is on, but this was not the GoPro. The GoPro had already broken. So here I'm getting out of the water, and you can see it's still raining hard. And you can see, yeah. And if I pause it right here, you can see out. Okay, so one boat out here where the arrow is at right now was just they just leave it there, right? This boat, and I'll play it here. They were actually what we gathered. They were actually out looking for me, and they couldn't find me. So I'll play it, but you can see that boat is actually out along the reef where I was trying to find me because they had known I was out, and they say no lifeguards are on duty or anything, but they're clearly still looking out. They don't want to lose somebody. So you can see that they're out there looking for me. And then this video here is just you won't be able to hear. This is you can see it's still storming pretty good. The boat right there had come back in. You see that? They had seen me. I'm in bright yellow. So they knew that I was the one they were looking for, right? So once they saw me stand up that I got myself back in, they came back in themselves. So that was interesting. I guess I don't make it very easy on my wife. Like I said, I don't want to stop living. I don't want to stop the adventures. But yes, as Paula and my grandma say, bless his heart, bless your heart, Nate. Yeah. So, but anyways, and I told Paul, I said, okay, that's enough snorkeling. I want to go back out there, but I'll stay out of the water today. Well, I didn't. We that probably would have been somewhere between 11 and noon, and our boat was coming at like 4, I think. And that cell passed, and it became absolutely quiet and beautiful. and it was high tide. And I looked at Paul. I was like, "You're gonna kill me, but I've got to go out one last time again. I've got to." And sure enough, it was the best snorkeling. The best video that I got was after that storm went. High tide, water was calm. That's actually when I saw that other shark. I hadn't seen the shark snorkeling was a few islands over. I hadn't actually seen a shark at Octopus Resort in their house reef. Well, when I went back out, that's when I got to see it. I'll play just some. Let me try to find some more colorful stuff. See, I'm just without pulling it up. I'm just trying to find some decent video because again, 1 second. That video is not the best. I'm not gonna pull it up if it's not actually a ooh and ah. The video and the color already mute or kind of distort the color of the stuff so much. I know somewhere in here there's a whole horde of bright yellow fish. I just don't know where in my videos it is. So I'm just scrolling through this stuff real quick, guys, and I'll try to find it for you. And if not, I don't. I'm sure at some point I will put a here's the best snorkeling from Fiji type video. From our snorkeling videos in Mexico, people don't tend to watch them. So I don't know. Actually, what you guys would probably like, there was one day where we were able to go out and I was actually able to feed the fish. That's probably the best bet to show you guys right now. If I can determine which video it is. Nope, not that video. Sorry. Paul is probably sitting there like, I've got to go back out, Paula. Oh yeah, me. I couldn't resist. I'm like, well, we don't know that we'll ever get back there. I don't know if I will ever see a reef that beautiful in my life. Hopefully, but how do you not? Even after that experience and scaring your wife half to death, how do you not go back out? I don't know. Okay, let's just do this one. I think this one is you guys will get a kick out of this one, even though I don't know. It's not that far out. Some of the fish you saw a lot, but if you guys haven't seen them, you guys will get a kick out of it. And this is 1 day a week. I think they will actually feed the fish, so you can go out and kind of feed the fish with them. And he hands me a bunch of stuff to feed the fish. Let me skip through here a little bit, and they'll basically come up. That guy's name was Max. He was actually one of our guys on our shark snorkel as well. Well, shoot. Let me try to see. Oh, you guys can see a lot of fish there. I don't know. To me, watching it on replay is not nearly as good as being out there in real life, fully immersed in it. And so you guys, I gotta like get over that. You guys probably are like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's real coral. Like they're actually endless coral, right? It goes nonstop along that shore. Oh, there was a nice redfish right in here. Did you guys see that? There's a redfish. These were one of the ones that liked mostly to hide under the fan stuff. Let's see if we can see it again. So those were harder to catch, and one of the reasons why I started trying to learn to dive down. But anyways, let's remove that. Yeah, Max. Max was his name. So yeah, anywho. Well, I'll tell you guys what. how long I've been oh shoot, I've been on here for an hour 20. I didn't really even mean to go an hour. Um, I've got a Valentine's dinner I need to go make, my wife and I. So we're gonna go ahead, close this down. Again, this was very informal. We will probably I'll do a live tomorrow. It'll probably stick to like one resort or one topic, maybe snorkeling or resorts, and I'll kind of spread it out over a month and go through our Fiji trip in a little bit more detail. You guys got, some of the highlights, some of the lowlights if you're Paula and how many times I scared her. Um, I think for her, me being out snorkeling in the storm, I suspect was probably the hardest on her. The driving story where we couldn't drive, she was with me and she was just as stressed out as I was. Um, but the snorkeling when I was out there and she didn't know, the not knowing for 10 minutes of oh no, that I suspect that was the hardest on her. But uh, anyways, we're shutting this down. I'm gonna go cook that dinner and we will likely see you guys tomorrow. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.